Hello and welcome to How Do I Homeschool. Today we're going to be talking about how to homeschool preschool-aged children. Now I spend a lot of my days talking about homeschooling curriculum for parents with slightly older children, but I think it could be a big and probably expensive mistake if you're going to get a massive big curriculum for your preschool children. And that is because I think the best education for a preschool child is just play. I'm not saying they shouldn't learn their ABCs or they shouldn't learn their math, but I am saying keep it simple and keep it play-based and keep it fun. Otherwise you run a really serious risk of burning them out quickly. And once they're burnt out, they're not going to want to do any work with you. So keep it fun and keep it simple. The other thing it's really important to remember is that kids love parents. And so if you're playing a game, they're going to want to play it even more. If you're finding something enjoyable, then they'll find it enjoyable too. For me, when I was growing up, I really didn't like math, but I've had to think about that and really change my rhetoric and try and teach my child that math is fun, because otherwise I'll be teaching him, hey, don't go near it, it won't be fun. So think about your language and think about how they follow you, and then what you can do to encourage them to learn to play about things that are educational. If you're homeschooling your children, the big aim should be to create lifelong learners, and so you need to make education fun for them. There's no point having a really educated toddler when all of a sudden when they get to age 5 they're like, I don't want to touch any of that educational formal stuff. And so in a way it is actually better to have a child who is not so up to their 1, 2, 3s ABCs but loves to learn than it is to have a child who knows it all and is sick of learning about it. Homeschool should aim to create lifelong learners and self-motivated learners. Children who don't need to be pushed, who don't need to have the whip cracked around their back because they love learning anyway. And so the best way to learn is to find out what your kids are interested in and then go down those rabbit holes with them. They don't need a formal curriculum when they're in preschool. Do they see a bird? Well, let's go research the bird. You might be able to watch a short video about it. You might be able to collect the feathers. What else do they do? Where are their natural habitats? Have a look at it. And there you are. There is your curriculum. This video is as much as anything about giving you the permission to not get a formal curriculum and just have fun with your kids. Also remember, if you have preschool age kids, it's really important to focus on their character development and spend that time making friends with your kids and just loving them and making sure they love you. Finally, if you are homeschooling preschool age kids, make sure you get them into a social group. These are great places for kids to learn together with other kids their own age. You'll often find a preschool social group you can attend with your children that are often free. Maybe the biggest tip for you if you are homeschooling preschool age children is get them onto reading. Read and read to them, and then when you get sick of reading to them, put on audiobooks. The children will develop an incredible grasp of the English language. They'll develop the ability to think without needing to see images, and it will also make formal reading easier as they'll understand words as they start to read them. If you're homeschooling preschool age children, then you'll also want to get them onto little math games. Well, just play little games and count to 10. How many objects are there on the board? Well, what happens if we take one away? How many are left? And of course, there are some reasons why you don't want to be homeschooling your children, and you can check out those reasons in this video right here.